3, 2, 1.
Hello, my name is SvenP. In this video, I'm going to show you how I made the Ali A Mansion GunGame map. Take a look at the galleries on the screen right now, so you know where I found the building pieces. Probably one of my favorite ones, being this little red tile from the Paradise Palm gallery. I will be using around the spawn points. My map would basically be a big square where there would be a big pool in the middle, and each of these two areas here would be the spawn points. So I needed to find a way to make this map sort of look cool without having it be too squarey, because I did want the map to be a big square, but how can you make a square look like it's not a square, or look like it's more interesting and dynamic than just a square? So you can see right here how extremely flat it is right now, but I'll get a little bit more into that later. Another thing that I really wanted with this map was to have it look very clean. So for example, the square cube building pieces would be perfect for the edge of the pool. So one thing that I did to make it less squarey was that with these floors here, I used build to prop turned on, and then I could carry those tiles and have them put off grid. So they would be a tiny bit higher in the spawn areas and a tiny bit lower on the pool area. I decided also that wood would make very little sense to have on the floor by a pool. It would get rotten and stuff. So I found these tiles here, and they were very cool. Also from that big Paradise Palm hotel. I'm gonna use this white wall here quite a bit, but I'm still in sort of an experimental phase of the building process here. So the areas where I'm placing this isn't really going to stick. I'm going to end up removing a lot of this and replacing it with other blocks. But when I build like this, I like to start off with sort of a rough idea. I get a lot of the shapes right, and then eventually choose the right building tile for each thing, and get a little bit more detailed, make sure everything matches, that sort of thing. I don't think anyone has noticed this yet, but this map is inspired by a map from Counter-Strike. It's not exactly the same layout, but if you look up Counter-Strike Pool Day, you'll get a map that has a quite similar layout as this. It's a little bit smaller and, well, not to bring myself up, less interesting. But there was something about the layout on that map that I really liked, and I wanted to make my own interpretation of. Also, the gun game style is quite similar to how gun game used to be like in Counter-Strike. Most of you who are watching this or playing this map, you're probably more used to the Call of Duty style of gun game, which is the one that most Fortnite creators adopted. The big difference is that there is free for all, which I personally never fell in love with the same way as I did with the gun game in Counter-Strike. There's something about playing gun game with a team where you're actually sort of against your own teammates, which makes it very interesting. And a lot of people actually told me this was a terrible idea, and I like terrible ideas. So I went with that. And I've gotten so good feedback on this map. Here is another area where I wanted to try something to break up the box pattern. So I figured I have a little round shape right here. The map will still be a square, but it won't really feel like one. The blocks that I'm copy-pasting here are facing each other, and then I'm rotating. And after rotating on grid, I turn off grid to fill in all the gaps, then remove half the circle. Then we got a really nice half circle here that can be used for some nice aesthetic stuff. Continuing earlier with wanting the theme to be very clean, and used one of those mirror blocks as a window. For those of you that has seen my previous work, you may not be surprised by this design choice by me. I really like it, not gonna lie. This A, by the way, was created by Jesgran, and I copy-pasted it into this map. I placed it on each of the sides of the pool like this, and figured out of some experimentation that I wanted to have some fountains on each side of it to make the whole thing look a little bit more interesting. I cut out some parts of the video, because when I find the general design, for example making the sides of this house here, is sort of self-explanatory, and I don't really want to bore you with too much of that, and the video would be way too long.
The whole world at our feet, watching seasons change, our roads were...
To make it a little bit more interesting, I had the edge of the map right here stick out a little bit, to be a little bit thicker on this part, which gives the map a lot more depth, and also add some fake doors here. I'd also copy paste this and just flip it around in order to have it be symmetrical to the other side. The trick to do this is to copy paste 99 blocks or whatever, and then the final block have that be one of these wooden walls or any wall that is built to prop turned off, because then it will stick to the grid and it will be basically impossible to place it wrong. This is a super useful trick, and if you haven't learned that yet, you are a huge noob. Just kidding. To create a little bit more variety in the scenery, on these areas right here, I'd have some apartments. Gnome would later add the famous PlayStation 5 on this little corner here. Fortnite Creative Gnome is an amazing aesthetic builder. He helped me out with a lot of the interior for this map. Together we made an inside of the house here as well, where we would also have a pool, but of a different style. We had it be kind of a Greek bathhouse kind of style, with pillars on each side. For those of you watching who has also played Counter-Strike, which is probably 0.00 negative 0. You might recognize that there is a small pool and a big pool, where there is also a connection in between the two pools. This map being considerably bigger, it's still based on the same layout, and also will have a tunnel in between the two, where you can swim through. And since this is of course an Ali A map, I had to have a little Diplodocus, but this time a little monster one. This here is Diplothulu, who calls in the Diplopocalypse. It's a huge monster, and at the end of the map he will eat the server with ketchup. And I'm not even joking. Play the map and you'll see it yourself. But that will conclude the building process for this map. If you watched this far, I hope you learned something. You're pretty amazing for not skipping. If you did skip to the end, however, you're still amazing. But you won't have the satisfaction of knowing this. But let's get on with the showcasing. When someone reaches 25 kills, the event happens on this map, causing the hidden Diplothulu to blow up the whole house, and the whole map changes. Me and Gnome made sure we hid some broken blocks inside of the house, so that that would get visible once the event happened and the house blew up. A lot of the detailed parts of this building was not added in this video, but you can see here that we got lockers, we got showers, we got an outdoor area and a garden outside of here. This is the finished inside pool. We got a bunch of plants everywhere to liven the place up, and a city on the other side of the house, a city that will eventually feel the wrath of Diplothulu. Thanks again to Creative Gnome for his epic help. Gnome also made a slide and diving boards, a kitchen, and you can actually also slide down this slider. It's pretty epic.
Big hit, really big hit. Oh my gosh, I'm absolutely cracked. Oh no, it's possible. See you later. We have Jose. Oh my gosh, TNT now. No. Beautiful. Remember this dinosaur that didn't find his mum? I found my mummy. This thing, this alien Diplodocus looking thing, is apparently its mum. What a freaky mutant creature thing.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you might also want to check out my video on the Ali A world. I'll see you there.
My heart